I slept in my van down by the river last night. It's a beautiful view. It's a little bit brisk, but it's a whole lot warmer than most of the places I've been this past month. And I'm going right back into the cold and possibly some snow in our next destinations here. So I just have a few things I need to go and grab. And we are going to make our way through the west side of Kamloops to McLure Ferry. It's a cute little ferry. I'll show you what I mean when we get there. Note to self, the best view is from McLure Ferry down into Kamloops. Everything is all behind me. I have to stop and capture some glimpses for you guys. I'm just on a little side road right now, and I will show you what's in front of me. If you're ever planning a trip north of Kamloops, or even coming from the north down to Kamloops, and you want to take this little side path, like I was saying, it would be best to do it from the north down into Kamloops. You have better views and angles of the North Thompson River. But still, it's pretty nonetheless. The old building is still standing. Here's a picture I took of it a few autumns back. Welcome to McLure Ferry. This is a cable ferry, specifically a reaction ferry, which is propelled by the current of the water. An overhead cable suspended from towers anchored on either bank of the river, and it's called the Traveler. To operate the ferry, rudders are used to ensure that the pontoons are angled into the current, causing the force of the current to move the ferry across the river. As you can tell, this is a small ferry, and it only holds 2 cars. And the crossing takes about 5 minutes. But this ferry does not operate at times of high water or winter freeze-up. Awesome, thank you. Have a good one. I made it up. That is money. Just around this corner, you can't see too well down there, but there's an old abandoned farm. I took some pictures of it a few years ago. So I've just made my way to Clearwater. I'm in Wells Gray Provincial Park. We are walking to some waterfalls, ones that I personally haven't seen in this park yet. I had a wonderful time visiting with my friend and her family. Good food, many laughs. Until next time, I'm calling this little journey my Circle of Friends week. Because that's basically what I'm doing, is seeing a whole bunch of my friends as I do a circle loop from Kamloops back to Kamloops again. Clearwater is just a little sidetrack, but it's worth it, right? Especially when you get to see these. And they call this Triple Decker Falls. And you see there's a ledge there, as well as one here. Awesome. So I guess the Triple Decker Falls is not a part of Wells Gray, but still, it's all in the same area. It's on the way, and they were just, like I said, wow. I only had one word to say. I was like blown away how gorgeous they were. Anyways, we are off now to the next set of falls, because I hear there were some changes made there, and that is Spa Hat Falls. Wells Gray is a massive provincial park here in British Columbia. It has 41 named waterfalls, and probably several undiscovered to this day. It's a long ways down. Half a million years ago, volcanoes erupted through this region. We are standing 150 meters above the original level. All that you see across the way in this canyon is hardened lava. Then came the glaciers. These exerted a tremendous erosive force upon the lava rock, eventually wearing a canyon into it. We arrived to today, with glacier meltwaters loaded with sand and gravel, cut like a grindstone into the soft volcanic rock, therefore creating Spa Hat Falls from deep within the canyon walls. So this must be the new part she's talking about. Not new to me, it's been here for a little while, but it's nice that they did so, because it gives you a beautiful view of the falls. I had to give you a close-up of this canyon wall, just so you can see the layers of the lava beds as each one had hardened after each separate eruption. And another thing that I found really cool was the trees that are growing along the canyon wall are hanging upside down. That was just a little toe dip into Wells Gray. I plan on coming back again maybe in the spring or possibly earlier next fall and show you around some more, because there's a few things I still haven't seen in here that I want to explore. There's so many beautiful trails and everything, and there is one waterfall that's a must-see, and today the weather just says no. There was no way we're going to go see it, but we are going to take a different route than the highway back down to Little Fort, and that's where I'll be staying for the night, and I'm going to head to one of my favorite diners when we get there. Down at the bridge there, I decided to map out my drive to get down to Little Fort. I was going to take another way, and it's all gravel road, and it seems like it's going to take me a little while, and there's a possibility I could miss the little ferry over, which means I either have to stay there overnight or drive all the way back around again, and I really don't want to do either one of them, so I've decided I'm just going to turn around and go back on the good old-fashioned highway number 5. Does that not look delicious? Everything at this diner is homemade, even the ketchup. See, it was a great little diner. Probably one of the last highway trucker diners stops around the highways here in British Columbia. There might be one or two more, but it's most definitely a dying breed of diners that you see along the highways compared to what they used to be. I'm glad they're able to survive and thrive through all of this. I just went across the street to a rest stop, and this is where I'm going to spend the night. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to make our way along Highway 24, and we're heading towards 100 Mile House over the next couple days. Now, granted, it's probably only like a 40-minute, 50-minute drive. No, make it an hour, I think, actually, when I think about it. But it's still going to take me a couple days to get there because we got friends to see. It's not much of a rest stop, but it's a good place to rest. I did find it a little bit confusing. It says no camping or overnight parking when you first drive in. But when you come a little farther in, it says minimum stay 8 hours. So I just parked in between the signs and I wasn't bothered. Alrighty, let's start today's adventures. And maybe we might run into some snow today. I'm surprised I haven't yet, but today might be the day. I hope so. I would like to play around in a little bit of snow. That'd be nice. Ooh, we see a little bit of snow. We are looking over Lac La Roche. It is one of the many lakes that you'll find as you drive along this highway. Just want to take a quick turn down here for a minute. Up to just a few years ago, the only place I've ever lived is Vancouver Island. It was a place where I didn't want to be anymore, but I also felt that there was no way to leave either. Then one day, giving a massage, the opportunity came, and I moved here to Bridge Lake and worked at this general store and lived around the back. Right now, we are at the Bridge Lake Ice Caves. Let's go check them out. Slight dusting of snow. So this is what they would classify the ice caves, and it's just the crevices in between the rocks. Doesn't really go too far down. The views are absolutely amazing here. I'll have to go over the other side, see if it's any deeper. Cute. I love that crunch. And it doesn't seem to go that far in there. I thought ice caves were deeper, but anyways, can't really see into them. It doesn't look like you could rock climb down into them either. The crevices are quite narrow. You need to be a little body to get through there. Anyways, let's continue the rest of the loop walk and see what other views I can show off to you. When I lived here, I used to walk this park all the time. There is a lower level, but we won't be walking that today. It was also this park when I realized that Bridge Lake was just that, a bridge to get me from one place to another. I really missed the new life I had created living and traveling around in my van. So after 6 months, I moved back into my van and moved on. But I was fortunate and got to meet some great people while I worked here, and I make it a part of my journey every so often to come through and have visits and say hi to everybody and do some paddling. I'm not sure we're going to do that this time. It is getting colder. I don't know if you can tell with my breath how cold it's getting. And I see that the trucks are out salting and getting ready for possibly a big snow tonight. We will see tomorrow morning. Guess what? It's snowing out there. That is so making my morning. I just spent a few more days with a friend. It's really nice to connect. But it was time for me to go and get back on this Circle of Friends trip. So I have stopped off in Lone Butte. And it's a small little community, not too far away from 100 Mile. But it is quite a unique little spot, I do have to say. And why is that? Let me show you. And it's just a little walk to it. So we all know that lone means singular, one. So what is a butte? This here behind me is a butte. It's a volcano plug. It was formed from a prehistoric volcano from 6 million years ago, from colonier basalt. I think it's pretty cool. Not sure if there's any more around this area. I do know it was very volcanic from here up north. There's lots of lava beds and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like, go search that and find out if there's any other cool things like this around. So I just did a Google search and there does not seem to be another butte, not like this one anyways. They do have Wycliffe Butte, which is in Cranbrook area, but they didn't show any big rock formation like the plug I just showed you. It just seems to be more flatter land. So to my knowledge though, that would be more of a mesa. Anyways, whichever. There is nothing more like this around this particular area anyways. Unfortunately, it is closed, but we can still walk around the fence. Little playground. And there's the water tower. So to my knowledge, and by the picture, the water tower was used to fill up steam trains when they passed through. And there's the butte in the background at a different angle. Wow, my happy sure turns sad pretty fast. I thought I'd climb in the back here and have a little snack and check my phone for any messages, and my friend had sent me a couple pictures. This is a friend who I have already mentioned previously in my videos, and he was in my gold penny video just recently. Anyways, the pictures that he had sent me was his truck trailer on its side and his truck in a ditch. He had been in an accident. Luckily, him and his dogs are okay. He has a bit of a bruise on the side of his face. Of course, shooken up. And other than that, it seems to be okay. But wow, he just lost his home. That really hits close to me too. Everything I own is right here. This is my home. And all it takes is just a second. And everything changes. I don't know what I would do. I don't even know what he's gonna do. It's an awful lot to think about, honestly. Wow. Anyways, I'm going to continue on my drive. Probably going to be pretty silent for the rest of it. I drove in silence to Cashe Creek, where I spent the night. just driving, thinking, while taking in the evening sunset. I have one more friend to visit on this journey, but I can't stop thinking about my other friend and his situation. How can I help? What can I do? The answers will come as they're meant to. In the meantime, I'm going to finish my time with you. Until next time, take care of yourself and enjoy life, for we never know what the next day holds. Bye-bye.